I had a craving for a pot pie with a biscuit-style crust, like my mom used to make, but that seemed really incongruous with the weather, so spring vegetable pie. It works! First thing is to make the biscuit dough, and to make it more green and vernal, I'm gonna pack it with fresh herbs, just stuff from the garden, rosemary, thyme, sage, chop it up fine, and these will be visible, pretty green dots in the biscuit. My mom used Bisquick. I'm gonna make like actual buttermilk biscuits, even though I have no buttermilk. About half a cup of regular milk mixed with half a cup of plain yogurt gets you something that is functionally the same in baked goods as far as I can tell. It thickens the batter and it gets you lots of nice fermented notes that you otherwise would not get in a quick bread. Cold butter, I'll grate in like half a stick, 4 tablespoons. Grated butter gets you a flakier texture, though I mostly want tender biscuits today rather than flaky biscuits, and among other things, that means more water, less fat, which is what we've got going here. A teaspoon of baking powder for leavening, a 1/4 teaspoon of soda for browning, a big tablespoon of starch to make the all-purpose flour bake more like cake flour, and I think just half a teaspoon of salt given that I used salted butter. And then stir in enough flour until this just barely seems like something you could roll out into a solid sheet. For tender biscuits, you want the batter wet, almost too sticky to work with, and just barely bring it together. The less you work it, the more tender it'll be. And that was a little less than 2 cups of flour. It just came together into a ball, so now I'll rest it in the fridge and let the particles hydrate before we roll it out. In the meantime, vegetables. Some nice smaller carrots that won't take forever to cook. Just cut those into rounds, and we're going to need a sauce to cook them in, so sauce time. I've got a pan here that's tall enough to bake the pie in. Melt in a big knob of butter. Why, yes, this is the 10-inch carbon steel frying pan from Made In, sponsor of this video. It's made in Sweden by craftspeople who have been doing it there since the 19th century. Carbon steel can be seasoned just like cast iron for a naturally stick-resistant coating, but it feels and it heats much more like a stainless steel pan. It's light, it heats fast and evenly, it's a real workhorse, it can go in the oven or in an open fire up to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. These days I cook almost exclusively with my made-in pans, whether it's carbon steel, stainless, non-stick. They're just solid, comfortable to hold pieces that do the job. They last forever and they come at a reasonable price. They're used in 3-star Michelin restaurants for a reason. Use my link in the description to save on your order. Check out Made In's carbon steel collection and all the other goodies. Thank you, Made In. Alright, stir in enough flour to make a paste. Too much flour. Am I going to use that whole other half of that stick of butter? I think yes I am. It tastes great, and I like my binding sauce in a savory pie to be really thick, so lots of roux. My first hit of liquid for this is usually white wine. It brings so much brightness and fragrance to the pie. You just stir in a little liquid at a time so that you're not sloshing around. First couple of hits are the wine. Now I can go in with my milk. Yes, you can combine milk and wine, just like you do when you make fondue. The acid in the wine will not curdle the milk as long as there's tons of thickener in there as well. The starch and fat kind of get in between the milk proteins and keep them from clumping up. That's honestly the thickness that I'm going for in a pie. The carrots go in straight away because they take the longest to cook by far. They'll need a good 10-minute head start before the next veg, which is going to be this beautiful leek. When you see leeks with very long whites like that, there's a good chance you've got a particularly clean leek that does not need to be cleaned inside. I don't want to have to quarter this so that I can wash out the mud between the layers. I want rounds for a pie, if possible, because those are just nicer, bigger chunks to eat. Yeah, look inside. Quite clean between the layers. When the carrots are noticeably starting to soften, the leeks can go in. Stir constantly to make sure that thick, sweet sauce doesn't stick to the bottom and burn. While I'm laboring over this, I can flavor it. I think I'm just going to do a big spoon of Dijon mustard and call it done. This is a vegetable dish. I want to keep the flavors simple and clear so that the veggies can sing through. Yeah, we just need some more salt. And remember that you're also seasoning all of the vegetables yet to come, so the sauce should be a little bit saltier than you want it. I have an ear of sweet corn. I'll just shave off the kernels. And here I have some sugar snap peas, which I think I'll just cut in half. Both of these vegetables taste great raw, so I'm not going to pre-cook them at all in the sauce. I just want to cook them as little as possible. When the carrots seem at least halfway to fork tender, I will kill the heat. Time to roll out the biscuit topping. It's wet. We'll need lots of flour to to prevent sticking, but alternatively, you could flatten this between 2 sheets of parchment paper. That'd be cleaner. Just get it wide enough to cover the pot. The last minute has arrived. Time to stir in the fresh veg. This looks way too thick, and that's good. Water is going to come out of these raw pieces as they cook, so the sauce texture should be perfect at the end. Flop on the dough. Whoops, I got a little bit too wide. I can just pinch off the excess. Brush the top with a little beaten egg and water if you need it to look shiny for the thumbnail, but honestly, brushing with plain water makes it a little bit shiny. You can see the pie does not go all the way to the top, and that's good because it's going to bubble up in this 375 Fahrenheit convection oven, 190 Celsius. Mine took about half an hour in there. Just about to boil over. Thankfully, it didn't. It's done when the top is brown, and it feels baked when you touch it. The crust does not feel wet or squishy inside when you poke at it. Take that baby out to cool. If you were to cut into it now, the sauce would run everywhere. It will thicken as it cools. I think if the pan is just cool enough for you to pick it up barehanded, that's a good sign that you're ready to eat. And I would just serve it inside this beautiful pan, though you could certainly scoop it out to plates if you want. I really like how the crust and the filling complement each other with this pie. The herbs in the crust bring flavor to that simple, sweet vegetable filling. Yeah, there's hardly any protein in it, but come on. Eat like a normal person and have a protein shake later. Come on.